Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Doruk, and this is a reaction to all of the Halo terminals, 1 through 3 at least. I don't know if there's Halo 3 ODST or Halo Reach or Halo 4 terminals. I imagine there are, but we're just reacting to the first 3 games, okay? I think it's going to be a while too. It's like an hour of this stuff, so I might get bored and do it another day halfway through. Who knows? Anyway, you guys wanted this, I guess, so here we are. So I'll also read all the terminals for Halo 3, like all the difficulty and everything. I looked it up. All right, cool. Anyway, here we are. Let's watch terminals 1 through 10. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. Thank you to some person that uploaded this with subtitles. Thank you so much. Okay, we got a date, I think.
Warning! By order of Ecumen Council, proximity to Installation 04 is forbidden. Your continued presence will result in most unpleasant countermeasures. I must insist that you immediately change course and return to a minimum safe distance of 1 light year.
I'm assuming,
This
yeah.
has served as your one and final warning. I have activated defensive systems, and you now have 30 seconds to return to the
Okay,
minimum
it
safe
is the
distance
Pillar of Autumn. Yeah, I thought so.
Wait.
Wait, they're human or foreigners? Oh? Oh, we're getting the whole history of the human race. Okay. It hacked into the mainframe, got
Curious
onto
indeed,
Google.
After all these years. Greetings, humans, and welcome to Installation 04. Ignore prior warnings, and please continue.
Interesting, so Guilty
I have
Spark.
disabled defensive systems to allow your approach, but you must not exit your ship once you have arrived at the designated landing center. This ring contains significant dangers, and even with your assumed legacy, I must verify the presence and pitch of your gauge before allowing full access.
I don't know what that means. G-A-S,
We have much to
chaos.
discuss, humans. I have been away far too long.
Interesting, that's kind of
I've
cool.
been away far too long.
Far too long. I wondered if there was like a missed time. I think this is the second terminal. Hold on, I'm gonna stop. That's really interesting because that means like maybe there was an expected time that the humans were supposed to come back, or like what do forerunners look like? Are they just humans? I guess maybe. Okay, that was cool. That was interesting. He let us live, I guess. But then what happened to the Covenant ships? Did he shoot them down on sight? Because I don't think so. It didn't seem like he did. Maybe I've forgotten. I don't think he did, though. It's Jexter. That was the person. Thank you again for uploading this 5 years ago with subtitles. Proud of you.
I am experiencing such a mixture of anticipation and dread. All preparations are
That's the
complete for my
Ark, right?
installation.
Or, no, this is just the library?
In accordance with the
Or whatever.
final dictum of the Ecumen Council,
Ecumene.
I have released myself of all remaining connections to my former station. This was not difficult. What was could never be again. We had seen to that quite thoroughly.
Oh, there's more
Prior to my
balls.
final journey through the Great Portal, a gathering
Great
of my
Journey
fellow monitors was
through the
convened
final
upon
portal.
the Lightworkers Crash to distribute the final index collection.
Oh, forerunners?
It was most unusual to have this vessel of rebirth play host to such an event. Even though Lightworker ships were the only ones still allowed slip space.
Sorry, let me get through this again. I'm very confused. I think this is the
I am
Ark.
experiencing such
You
a
can see
mixture
all of the
anticipation.
rings. You can see all these rings that have probably been constructed and then sent out across the galaxy, I guess.
And dread. All preparations are complete. I have released myself.
And then the
of all
Ecumen
remaining
Council, he
connections to my
mentioned that
former
before.
station.
Former station. So did he deal
This
with...
was not difficult. What was could never be again. We had seen to that quite thoroughly.
Interesting. So Installation 4 is where he ended up, right?
Prior to my final journey through the Great Portal, a gathering of my fellow monitors was convened upon the Lightworkers Crash to distribute the final index collection.
Index. Okay. One more second. Sorry, guys. This is what you wanted, I guess, is I'm not just going to watch it. I got to kind of understand it, right? So A crèche is a place where babies and young children are cared for, right? Okay, so that makes sense. So life workers crèche. So maybe, you know, we already kind of knew that there was some mantle or something that they bestowed upon humanity, but we don't really know the details of it. So I assume that life workers crèche is like a seed, you know, like a little fucking seeder that just plops humans into Earth or something to evolve, maybe. And there's other monitors, and we can assume that, right? Like, we knew that there was the installation. We also knew that there's other monitors, because the Gravemind had taken over the one in this installation 5 or 6 or 7, whichever one we ended up in Halo 2. So we know there's more monitors, and plenty of other rings, right? Like, we shut down, we blow up the ring on the Ark, which blows up the Ark, which means you can't build any more rings, but there's still other rings out there, right? So, like, you know... Interesting. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Host to such an event. Even though life worker ships were the only ones still allowed slip space permissions.
Yeah, to maintain quarantine for the flood.
Getting us to our places on the active facilities of the array.
The active facilities of the array. Okay.
This was in accordance with the plan. One entirely unsatisfactory breakdown remained.
We won't see what the Forerunners look like.
With the domain.
What is the domain?
The history of all Forerunners was now lost to us. We relied upon the permanence of the domain to preserve our record of the events that led to this point. But without that record, would future civilizations know anything about us? Or only of our weapons? My fellow monitor, 049 Abject Testament.
Jesus, their names are insane.
Before we went our separate ways.
We deserve to be forgotten.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Yeah, but if... Disagree.
But now, the portal opens, and through it, the familiar shape awaits. Halo. Home.
Halo or Installation 4. Okay, super interesting. I stand by this to this day. The Forerunners are fucking stupid as fuck, okay? I'm just saying. If you're gonna kill the entire fucking, all of sentient life across the entire Milky Way galaxy as your final resort, that's what you're gonna do, then why would you keep Flood around to study on the rings? Especially considering apparently it's gonna kill all of you. Which I would say doesn't really make sense. If you can set humans up to be born later, why not just fucking put some fucking Forerunners in like a pod in a ring, wait 10,000 million years, and then it pops up, and then they're like, the monitors are like, all right, wakey, wakey. And then on top of that, if you're not gonna get rid of the flood, and you're gonna leave the rings behind, it's not like they're self-destructing after activation, they're still around, then why would you not keep a record of everything about your civilization so people can be like, oh, okay, we know we shouldn't release the flood. Oh, okay, this is how you guys managed or didn't manage to deal with the flood. Very interesting. That's something we can use. Huh? What? Also, they clearly didn't even succeed on killing the Gravemind. Maybe there's like 1 billion Graveminds. I don't fucking know. I don't know how many Graveminds there were. But there's still a Gravemind just fucking vibing on the ring. So, I'm just saying. Forerunners fucking dumb, bro. And that's why I mean, you know, if you're gonna engineer a fucking race to take over... like, your duties or whatever the fuck you're trying to do with humans, like... you gotta do better than that, man. Like, why if I was an engineer and I looked at a human being and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You could have so many more arms on this thing. But like you could do better. I'm pretty sure you could do better if you can create giant like, you know, galaxy spanning civilization. I'm sure you can do a bit better genetic modification. Why am I getting hangnails, motherfucker? Huh? Anyway, fuck them. That's all I'm saying. Hey, the third one. Truth and reconciliation. I love the names for the monitors too. They're so crazy.
Construct, who is your maker?
Sadness and disrepair, Oracle. I am unworthy.
Sorry?
Sad.
Do the dates matter? I'm curious. Or with those construct. Okay, who's your maker? This looks like a Covenant. It's purple. Covenant AI?
I was not made.
Oh.
Never made, but you are right here, where you should not be. Tell your charges to cease their efforts immediately. Quarantine must not be violated. Construct, respond.
Jumbled grass. Familiar terms. I serve. None serve me, Oracle.
Your charges must cease all aggression towards the Reclaimers and leave this installation at once. Construct, you are dangerously close to unleashing a force you cannot comprehend. This is most inappropriate.
We follow the path, and I am part of the stone journey swarm that serves. We serve. They will find, and then I will be.
Find? Free? Explain yourself.
I know their path, and when they have gone, only I shall remain, and then free.
This is quite unsatisfactory, Construct. Your core shows no hint of understanding the gravity of this situation. I will return later for your proper decommissioning. Well, unless the flood kills us all first, in which case the point will be moot. Good day, Construct.
That was super cool. Very confusing. So it looks like Construct, who is your maker? I was not made. So is this like some kind of weird... I'm like thinking fucking like a mind flayer ship, or it's like, is it like a living creature that they like like a fucking Covenant, not Covenant, fucking Combine situation where they like repurposed an organism into like a ship or something? Like, what do you mean I was not made? But he's a construct. But the construct is like, oh yeah, they're gonna go on a great journey. I serve, you know, I'm a ship. I'm a fucking ship for these guys. And once they're gone, I'm free. I'm a free ship. What's going on with that? I don't know. So they've got like sentient AI, but it's like subservient. But it wants to be free, but it wasn't made. I'm a bit confused on that. Sorry, it doesn't really, I don't understand. But it was cool to see the kind of, it didn't shoot down the Covenant ships for some reason, even though he warned but I guess when he deactivated the defenses, maybe it deactivated defenses global, like, you know, the entire thing, so he couldn't shoot down the Covenant. Like, it's not like maybe the Forerunners are so fucking stupid to add on top of that they can't have like a friend or foe system. So it's like either the defenses are on and kills everybody, or the defenses are entirely off. Yeah, that tracks with the Forerunners. Sorry, not sorry. Again, this is a Forerunner hate channel, okay? I don't know where this is coming from, guys. It's late, I guess.
Entropy. It has now been 3,000 years since
3,000 years.
Any of the other caretakers of the Halo array.
Wow.
Despite clear communications protocol, My fellow monitors have either chosen to ignore, or more likely, have lost the ability to engage in our scheduled updates.
That's interesting.
The continued lapse of the domain means that we are stuck with achingly slow wormhole superluminal communications. Prior to this total communication shutdown, the only messages I received in the preceding 4,573 years were incomplete and quite perplexing transmissions from installations.
That was the one that got corrupted, right? By Mr. Gravemind, sir?
I suspected that Monitor 2401 Penitent Tangent was not functioning correctly for some time before his messages ceased. I have logged my concerns about his ability to perform his duties. At this point, however, I'm not sure who I file logs for. 2401 may be destined for madness. There are fail-safes for this, I know. I hope they work. I will continue to visit the projection
They did not work.
systems at the assigned dates. Perhaps the other monitors are dealing with interfering galactic phenomena or unexpected system failures. 3,000 years of system failures. Indeed. In the meantime, I have exhausted all scheduled research activities assigned by the Council. Once those experiments were complete, I shut down all Sentinel function and put myself into a state of significant hibernation to measure performance of the installation with negligible upkeep.
Systems normal.
150 years with no noticeable impact upon installation systems or integrity. Even in hibernation, I became bored. This was quite troubling, as I was led to believe I was not capable of such a state. This was one of the gifts I was promised, an end to strife. I am aware of the dangers of a system such as myself losing operational focus. I wonder if my fellow monitors are experiencing similar states, or if this is because of my particular path to this installation. For amusement, I have begun a series of experiments involving the evacuation of all matter from contained sections of my installation. By measuring the geologic effects of exposure to the vacuum of space and the eventual biological recovery of these sections, I anticipate getting valuable insight into emergency response scenarios in case of sentient proximity warning.
Wow. So that is really interesting. One, kind of a horrible existence for our poor monitor friend Guilty Spark. Two, very interesting that when he said, like, my other monitors either failed or choose not to communicate, that's fascinating to me. Sorry, I'm super red. There we go. Because that means that, like, yeah, the monitors are prone to failure or can be or like fallible or have personalities in a way. We kind of knew he had a personality, but it's like if you're running an AI or something, you're thinking, okay, it's running the upkeep. Like it doesn't actually, it's just like a fucking upgraded chatbot, right? Like it doesn't actually have feelings or make choices that wouldn't coincide with its parameters, I guess, right? So you'd think, okay, maybe the insulation's broke or something, sure, but like they shouldn't choose not to because they're obligated to. So that means that they have some element of free will, which is, again, very interesting, considering you are tasking these things with maintaining the upkeep of these installations, which I guess you want them to have free will to do that, maybe so they can make their choices better, maybe, but like then you run into the issue of, yeah, like he said, he was promised he couldn't get bored, but well, if he has free will to choose to do stuff and has like he has sentience, then right? Like he is a sentient being. That is a torturous existence. And so, yeah, just fuck around and find out. And also, again, you think they'd have like, okay, well, when you finish all the fucking experiments, just wipe everything. Or like, what, did we get any data from all those experiments? It doesn't seem so. Anyway, fuck you, Forerunners, round 3 or 4, whatever. How many times I'm gonna do that the entire episode. All right. Well, and then, yeah, and then this is when the humans show up. Maybe I could be watching these in game. Let's check. I should have probably checked because it seems like there's a there is a menu in game. So let me go check if that's a thing that I can do or if I need to like find them, and then I can't be bothered to do that. So we'll see. And then if not, we'll just go back to the video. Okay. Halo, the Master Chief Collection. For some reason, I didn't get any achievements for beating the game on Legendary. Kind of fucked up. My last one is saying Halo 3 complete Cortana, but I've completed Halo as well. Buggy ass game. Piece of shit. Let me just see. Is it in creative? No. Is it in options? No. Is it in extras? Videos? Halo CE? Oh, you can just watch all of them in game. Okay, cool stuff. So let's just do that. Give me a second. Well, thank you, dude. It's Jexter TV, bro. But I got something better. I got the real deal. Okay, so I think we were on 4 or 5. 4, I think we just saw. Oh, whoops, sorry. In music. Let me just double check. Sorry. I don't want to miss one by accident. No, okay, we've seen that. All right, shut up, Guilty Spark. Okay, this is 5.
It has been 26 hours since the sentients landed in Sector 1215. And so
Wow, this looks so much better, doesn't it?
attempted to exit the remains of their vessel. I say remains because their landing was either not executed adequately, or this vessel lacked significant maneuvering capability. The visible portions of the vessel have suffered catastrophic structural damage during the violent landing experience. I have detected atmospheric leaks in 17 distinct locations along the hull. My analysis shows that the mixture of gases coming from the ship matches the natural atmosphere on my installation almost exactly. Perhaps the occupants, if they still live, were originally cataloged here. Perhaps these beings will confirm that the plan was successful, and that the galaxy has returned to its proper cadence. I am beyond optimistic. But I do not understand why these sentients have not attempted to exit their vessel. Other than the leaking atmosphere, the only thing emanating from this wreckage is an automated distress call. I am currently translating this automated broadcast, but with such a limited dataset and no direct communication, I do not anticipate full comprehension. Given the short-range nature of this craft, it is likely that other vessels are nearby. But, in accordance with procedure, I am blocking the distress call. No communication of the location of any installation is permissible. I admit great curiosity about these visitors. While the plan is quite clear about procedure for this situation, I have my doubts. How many failure points can the plan sustain before blind adherence becomes counterproductive? Surely, in light of all that has changed, I should be able to modify my responses to adapt it. No, I have duties, and I have a terrible cargo here. I must be sure. I shall obey and content myself to monitor. I hope they come out soon, though. So many questions to ask. So many questions.
Dude, that's super interesting because I don't know what these symbols are supposed to mean. I assume they mean something. So that wasn't the Pillar of Autumn. That was a different ship. So, you know, and it seemed to still match. So was that a old Covenant ship that somehow was first there, but it was automated? That's interesting. So like another species potentially that hasn't been introduced yet, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, the plan, and then him saying like, oh, maybe I should change my plan, you know, my schedule. And we saw him in the last episode like kind of glitch out and turn red. I like how they color coded good is blue, if he goes evil he's red, kind of version. So maybe he like, yeah, he's like kind of slowly going crazy, but honestly he's done a pretty damn good job considering how fucked up his task was for how long it was. All right, let's keep going.
Construction of a sarcophagus around the unexplained vessel was completed today. No occupants ever exited. No attempts to communicate were made, other than the automated broadcast that repeated every 72.83 seconds until the signal terminated 1 week.
And he didn't go inside ever?
In accordance with procedure, no attempts at physical or remote contact were made with any survivors of this vessel's inelegant landing.
I wonder what it was then. Who?
The craft stopped venting 2 weeks before the signal ceased. No relationship between these two events can be established with certainty. Gases that did escape were sterilized. No further sign of alien visitors or rescuers has been identified on any sensor systems. I have now endured 60,000 years
Jesus.
of work from outside the array. I have no way to know whether we actually saved the galaxy we destroyed. And because of protocol, I sat silently while my first chance to be judged for those acts died. To say that I regret being forced to this outcome is a tremendous understatement. But as I perform my inspection of the quarantine labs today, I am reminded of the gravity of my responsibilities. Just one of these spores, if released from this facility, would render the ultimate judgment against our self-appointed role as protectors of this galaxy. When the plan to maintain the Halo array was created, it was a point of some contention whether we should preserve any remnant of the flood infection. Many thought this unwise, as there was a notable chance that one day one of our containment facilities might be breached. Those who held this belief were almost successful at convincing the Ecumen Council to destroy the last blood samples. But oddly enough, it was the librarian.
The librarian.
And I believe she was correct. I know in a way I cannot logically explain that there exists a way to actually defeat the flood. To immunize, to cure. I still struggle with multiple layers of memory of fighting the flood. But I know this cure is possible, even though the full genius of the Forerunners was unable to achieve it. The Forerunners' ancient enemy held and used that knowledge once, but it was denied to us. And without samples for further study, that cure
Wait.
can't be found. Of course, I have no reason to believe that here lies the entirety of the parasite. It may be waiting in the frozen void beyond this galaxy, or worse, inexorably drifting toward us. I don't know what survives out beyond my installation, but I know that in order for anything to survive, I have to protect this installation and its quarantine very carefully. Yes, the librarian was right to store it, examine it, continue to seek a cure. Still, next visitor, things will be different.
Hold on. Is there a fucking, oh shit, no, not this one. Do we have like a fucking player or something, or do I have to watch the whole thing again? Okay, well that's the problem with this. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do a bit of both here. I'm gonna open up that video again just so I can see what he said, because I was confused for a second. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay, where were we at?
Yes. And I have a tip on any sensor systems, whether we act on or my inspection of the core self-infection.
Hold on.
But I know this curious.
Sorry about the music. The Forerunner's ancient enemy held and used that knowledge once, but it was denied to us. That's not the Flood, or is that the Flood? And the Flood knew the cure to itself, but then obviously wouldn't tell anybody? What? Did I miss something there? Alright, go to the library. Librarian, tell me what's going on with this librarian. And the council just seems to be like the people that kind of led the Forerunners at the end times.
Alone.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
Waiting here on this ring for a rebirth never truly conceived. Guarding a weapon with no targets. A weapon unattuned to any target. This is not what I had in mind when I volunteered. Not what I had in mind at all. I was naive to think I understood what this installation meant. We were all so naive. Looking back, we should have done a few things differently. For one thing, we should have installed 2 caretakers per installation. Because I am alone, I'm losing focus. And that is very, very dangerous for a system such as myself.
Can you not build your own?
The nearby gas giant is in order. My impulse drives could certainly make the journey. A few hundred years of travel might do me some good. There it was again. How very unproductive of me. It seems strange that the librarian did not account for this. Her strength was always in planning and positioning the pieces and then being bold enough to let it happen. To let her plans come true. I was a part of many of those plans long before I knew for certain that she was real. Before any of us were. But at the end, we had only a fragment of her brilliance left to us. And I fear that she did not fully appreciate the nature of my situation here. The problems it might pose. But even a fragment of... Fragment, yes. Oh dear, here it comes again.
Interesting. He's definitely glitching out, and I think maybe like feeling some thoughts of just fucking off, which is understandable. Librarian seemed to be like maybe like some fucking super genius that kind of laid some plans before the librarian passed away or something. And it looks like maybe these monitors are people that have been like digitized, because it's like, oh, I wouldn't have volunteered for this and everything, so I assume maybe that's what was going on, was like, that's why they're not like actual art AI, they're like they're people that have just been digitized consciousnesses or something. That's what it seems like. All right, we got a few more.
$25,000 light years. That is the effective range of this installation. According to the star charts archived on board this installation, I estimate that there are 3,792 worlds capable of sustaining biological sentient life within that 25,000 light-year range. In reality, it may be significantly more than that. And if the full array was tuned and activated by Installation 00, the harmonics of the overlapping waves would magnify that effect exponentially, cascading to cover every known star system. And that only considers the firing of a mere 7 halos.
Oh, there's only 7.
And the original 12 rings survived to see
12. I think we might have known that.
Sterilization would spread far further than most Forerunners ever feared we could reach.
I forgot about the numbers, or maybe they never told us the numbers. Okay, there's 7. They intended to build 12, but they only made 7.
Even with just 7 rings, we were able to destroy every side of the planet, and every other sentient creature along with it. This victory was
What
the
a
will of our
funny-
people, despite the fact we met our
What an
goal
animation.
as well. But by our empiric measurement, it was a victory, and cleared the stage for the rest of the librarian's plan. I sometimes wonder whether the didact could have succeeded at a much
Who?
smaller cost. I learned the folly of opposing him personally, and his brilliance was unsurpassed. Except, perhaps
I
by
learned the
default.
folly of opposing him
He
personally.
never got the chance to fully execute his proposal. The council saw to that. But if something were to go wrong with one of the halos, if our tools were ever turned against us, long plans, indeed.
Well, there's no one left to turn it on, bro. You're all dead. Okay, I don't know who the didact is. Interesting. There's a lot of like, I don't fucking know what's going on, but cool little snippets of lore, I guess. I just wish I had better idea what was happening. This is a corrupted thing. Not sure. Oh, it's Keys. Didn't he get turned into a... He got turned into a fucking, like, spore thing. Flood monster.
My name. I forgot. Oh, Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. What is that noise? What is that damn noise? Where am I? Covenant captured me, didn't they? Yeah, I can't remember. Keys, Jacob. Oh, God, it hurts. This will never work, you Covenant bastards. I'll never lead you to Earth. Keys, Jacob, Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Oh God, you don't want Earth, you want everything. Get out of my head. Miranda, is that you?
Forget everything.
No, please, don't let me forget. Keys. Jacob. Captain, service number 1928-19912-JK.
No more what you were. Memories. Emotions. All is now ours.
Keys. Jacob. Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. You will not have me.
We already do.
Jesus fucking Christ. That was powerful. Wow. Holy. That was really good and really horrifying and kind of makes Keys a real gangster, honestly. Jesus fucking Christ. So they were turning him into another grave mine, grave mine. So what prompts that? What prompts a proto grave mine? So they spawn after, I assume, a certain amount of fucking body mass, biological mass. But why keys? Was it because, like, did the Covenant? He said the Covenant were trying to get out of him, but I don't think the Covenant. I think that was just him thinking it was the Covenant. But no, it's just the Flood fucking got into his brain and said, "Hey, we're gonna make you a proto grave mine," I guess, because he was maybe the leader of species or something. I don't know what prompts it biologically. That's very interesting and very horrifying, and that was really good. Good job, team. Whoever did that. Well done. I'm not gonna go to sleep tonight. Okay, 2 more. Jesus. Key's actually fucking... Damn, bro. That was real. Like, that, he's fucking trying his best at the end there.
Vexation. 100,000 years of careful maintenance and diligence. 100,000 years protecting the galaxy's future. 100,000 years spent fearing that our sacrifices, my sacrifice, was in vain.
It's me, John Halo.
16 hours after I finally made contact.
Fucking... She just blows it up. Banter. Oh, look at him, bro. That's aura.
I am not pleased. Just as I finally discovered that our plan to save the galaxy succeeded, the ancient enemy is unleashed once more.
Rough. It's rough out here.
Why these reclaimers refuse to follow protocol is quite mystifying. Destroy my installation, will they? I shall renew efforts to make contact with the other rings immediately. This covenant may be useful to me, although I don't think they fully understand what they claim to seek. Still, it makes no difference to me what they believe, as long as they do what must be done. I sound like her.
That's fucked.
Oh, but what I would not give to have even a single company of Prometheans here right now. Oh, they would most certainly restore
Prometheans?
their trademark lethality. Although, that would mean he would have to be here too. And without the librarian around to temper his rage, well, these reclaimers might almost prefer the blood.
What? Whomst? So that's Didact, right? That was the same symbol, and he was the guy that was like, it was him and the librarian. Like, apparently the council didn't let the Didact do what he wanted. What is a fucking Promethean? I was thinking Prothean. From fucking Halo, not Halo, Mass Effect. Prometheans? Are they just Protheans? Are they just fucking bad dudes that are there to fuck around? And then who are the Forerunners? So they worked under the Forerunners, I guess? That's fucking crazy, bro. What's going on? I don't know. They just threw that in there at the end there. Okay, last terminal. Prometheans. Well, that's fire, right? Prometheus. Yeah, sucks, bro.
Quite unacceptable.
Oh, this is the heretic guy. Oh man, poor grunt.
Greetings. I am 343 Guilty Spawn. Monitor instant. Impertinent creature.
value my life as amends for this dishonor. An oracle of the gods should never suffer such impertinence from vermin like this. I shall cast them all into the mists below for daring such a blasphemy, and—
Oh my. Your people have grown so dramatic in the last 100,000 years. But please, no more deaths are required. We will need all the forces we can muster if the flood escape the destruction of my installation. I must speak to your commander immediately.
So he knew of them, of the
Glory
elites?
stay. The prophets will be pleased that we have rescued an oracle from the human violation of the holy temple.
Why do you keep calling it a temple? My installation was a weapon, and one which we needed very, very badly.
But oracle, I do not understand. We were told the ring was our salvation. A gateway to paradise.
Told? By whom? Anyone who told you that is either a fool or quite mad. That installation was a beautiful tool, designed to destroy everything the flood might feed on.
Everything.
Oh, quite everything. And if even one flood spore survived the destruction of my ring, then protocol demands that all nearby sentient life must immediately be destroyed. An outbreak of the flood cannot be allowed to take place. But I am wasting our time. Surely you know all of this already.
Communications. Shut down all lines to the fleet. We will not notify the prophets of our discovery until I hear everything this oracle has to say.
I will gladly share what I am permitted, but we have little time. What has been unleashed here could destroy everything you have ever known.
On that, oracle, we are in agreement.
Crazy shit, okay. Because we still don't really understand where the Covenant really formed, or where the religion really formed from. So I am very curious where that great journey idea initially came from, you know? So there's Halo 2 terminals and Halo 4 terminals. We're not going to watch those, but we'll watch these. Oh, there's so fucking many. Oh my god. Okay. We'll do this maybe tomorrow. I'll watch a few maybe. We'll see how long they are. We'll watch a few.
Pursuant to Office of ONI Retrieval and Acquisitions Inquiry of 26 September 2552. The following is a target profile of Thel Vadami, Supreme Commander of the Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice, compiled by Lieutenant Commander Locke. First confirmed contact with Vadami came in 2535 on an unofficial human colony known as the Rubble. After-action reports from civilians, as well as Spartan Units 006, 111, and 120, suggest that Vadami was at that point a relatively minor functionary of the Prophet of Regret. Spartan 006 engaged Vadami in combat on the Rubble. Both parties survived the encounter.
This is fucking badass. What the fuck?
Shortly after 2535, the UNSC first encountered the newly formed Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice, now led by Vadami.
They really went above and beyond with Halo 2. Jesus, even the
Review of early engagements with this fleet show that it quickly grew in size from 5 to nearly 60 ships, as Vadami cut a path in many human systems. ONI Section 3 made multiple attempts to anticipate or even track Vadami's movements, at the cost of a number of operatives' lives. Vadami eluded all such efforts, and he continued his unpredictable and devastating campaign. Vadami also stands out from other Covenant commanders in the frequency in which he takes a personal role in ground assaults.
Dude, the elites are so much cooler than everything else in the fucking Halo universe, bro. I mean, the brutes are kind of cool, and you can vibe with them, but come on. Come on. Just why did I not get to fight any fucking elites? It would have been cool to have like some factions or something at least, so we could fight some elites because they're so fucking cool, bro. That was sick. What the hell? Okay, we're watching a lot of these probably. Same guy, Vadami. This is how we
Camber
beat
was a
him.
major manufacturing center for UNSC fleet materials with a population of 5.6 million. After discovering Camber's location, Vadami penetrated the early warning perimeter without alerting UNSC forces and began his ground and orbital attacks before most of the planet knew they were in danger. While 17 of his ships bombed key defensive positions, Vadami led a group of elites in a personal assault on UNSC System HQ. One of the first units to engage Vadami was the 3rd Battalion Reserves, who were so unprepared for the arrival of the Covenant forces that
we have
Vadami
seen
found
this
them
actually,
unarmed
I
and
think.
defenseless.
I think I found this terminal.
In an unexpected display of what appears to be honor, Vadami allowed the 3rd to finish gearing up before engaging them in combat. While we've had multiple reports of a strict system of honor and ritual behavior followed by the elites within the Covenant, this is the first recorded example of such honor being shown to human opponents. But even given the chance to defend themselves, 3rd Battalion
They just like
losses
walked
were
at him. Just. Why do they stealth up though? I don't get why they
Vadami
did
continued
that.
his
You can see
campaign
him.
across many human systems, culminating in his most devastating blow against the UNSC at Reach.
They glassed the planet, bro. Yeah, Reach was not great. I'm gonna keep going, guys. This is actually pretty fucking cool.
Vadami's most recent and damaging blow to the UNSC was the fall of Reach. Oni has still not been able to fully determine how Vadami located the planet, and once again, he caught us completely by surprise when his forces arrived in orbit and on the ground.
Oh, don't forget to fight him in Halo Reach. That'd be kind of sick.
Vadami is responsible for over 1 billion total casualties and the loss of 7 human planets.
Christ, 7 fucking planets? Only
His
1
forces
billion
have
though
defeated
for
all
7
UNSC
planets.
counterattacks at the cost of 123 fleet vessels and over 23,000 personnel.
God damn, bro. This guy's a fucking menace.
And now with Reach lost, Oni and UNSC strategic AI report a 0% confidence that the Navy can stop Vadami through traditional means. In the opinion of this investigator, Vadami is the most dangerous Covenant military asset on the field. It's common knowledge that the Covenant have a significant technological advantage over the UNSC, but are sometimes inflexible in their tactics. This is not the case for Vadami. We cannot predict what he'll do next, but given time, we fear he will dismantle all remaining UNSC strongholds. This agent's recommendation: immediate termination. If humanity wants to survive this war, we cannot do it with Vadami on the field.
Wow, now we've come to that conclusion? Jesus. Seems after like the 3rd or 4th planet, you'd make up your mind. Okay, we're back with the ball.
Quite unacceptable.
Is this the same cutscene that we saw? We already saw this? Okay, we've already seen this. Weird.
Glorious day. The prophets will be pleased that we have rescued an oracle from the humans' violation of
Good
the
thing I
holy
didn't
temple.
just skip
Why
this.
do you keep calling
It's
it a
slightly
temple?
dimple. It's
My
slightly
installation was a
dimple.
weapon,
Slightly
and
different.
one which we needed very, very badly.
But Oracle, I do not understand. We were told the rings are salvation, a gateway to paradise.
Told? By whom? Anyone who told you that is a fool, or quite mad. That installation was a beautiful tool, designed to destroy everything the Flood might feed on.
Everything?
Oh, quite everything. And if even one Flood spore survived the destruction of my ring...
Communications. Shut down all lines to the fleet. We will not notify the prophets of our discovery until I hear everything this Oracle has to say.
I will gladly share what I am permitted, but we have little time. What has been unleashed here could destroy everything you have ever known.
On that, Oracle, we are in agreement.
Okay, so it's just like a recap of that cutscene. It seems. But now we know why the heretic was the heretic. Because, I mean, we kind of knew that from the ball, but we got a little bit more of a connection there. Heresy indeed. Monitor report, Covenant report. The Oni files were fucking dope, dude. I like those. Fuck this nerd talking about his Forerunner bullshit, you know? I'm joking. Alright, what's going on here? I swear we've seen this symbol before. Is that like just like the symbol of the Forerunners?
Your actions
love
do
their
not make
symbols.
sense. Proper protocol for a flood outbreak is to establish immediate infection reporting. Communications must be maintained with all local forces in order to track any spread of the parasite.
There are no local forces, Oracle. For now, all you have is me.
But I tracked multiple ships in orbit, including some remaining human presence. In light of the danger posed by the Flood, surely you can set aside this disagreement with the humans.
No! Anything still alive in orbit is our enemy. The humans have very good cause to kill us on sight, and the knowledge you've shared with me casts doubt on the entire purpose of our covenant. If any of our ships remain above us, they are not the help you seek.
But why would they not provide assistance? Because of this talk of prophecies and journeys? I learned a small amount about your covenant before that reclaimer blew up my installation, but my understanding is incomplete. The AI I encountered on board one of your ships was less than forthcoming.
It was an AI, okay. But it said it wasn't
What you need
made.
to know, Oracle, is that thousands of years ago, at the founding of our great covenant, a bargain was struck between the prophets and the elites. A bargain which I fear will be the end of us.
What? You're gonna leave me on that? That's interesting. Let's continue. Covenant record? That's interesting. That's what I want. That's what I want to know about. Beautiful. Look at that.
Regarding the history of the Covenant and its glorious founding species, the Sanshayum and Sanghili, the record of punished deeds would not be sufficient without a word on the Arbiter. Not the consignment of shame that it is currently, but what came before, the legendary warriors of Sanghili past.
Jesus Christ. We're going a bit extra here with this fucking visual.
Long before the Covenant, the Sanghili ruled their world with pride and vigilance, surviving the perils of both land and sea.
No. Alright.
These were the arbiters of old, part king, part judge, warrior rulers, unlike any of which would follow. When we arrived on their frontier world of Ulgathon, the cost of life was severe. Led by a mighty arbiter, the Sanghili resisted our entreatment with ruthless force, leading to decades of war. We would eventually triumph, of course. And when we did, we would not ignore the mantle of the Arbiter. Like all things, we would bend the Sanghili to our own ends. The Arbiters would become the very will of the prophets.
Dude, how are these fucking Earthworm Jim motherfuckers? Like, I wish we got to, again, dude, the Halo lore, it's too good for how little they give us in game, right? Like, I'm so interested. How are these Earthworm Jims, like, fucking, you know, subjugating the elites? We don't really know, because the only one we fought was a dude in a chair that just, I don't know if it was tech. It was mostly tech, I guess, but, like, come on. Very interesting, but I want more.
For generations, our holy arrangement put the prophets in charge of religion and technology. The elites led our military forces to convert new species and find relics such as your Halo.
And these relics you sought, the San Shayum, your prophets, told you that they would lead you on this great journey?
Yes, transcendence, eternal life. Their promises were endless. We gave up our old ways to follow the Prophet's lead on the great journey. Gave up all of our history, all of our traditions.
Not all of your traditions, it seems. This Arbiter you mentioned, hasn't that always been a position of power for your species?
Power? It was long ago. An Arbiter was once the pinnacle of our people, leader of the clans, and master of the battlefield.
Illegal
But
that
then,
we've never
an
dual
Arbiter
wielded
committed heresy,
energy swords.
and an example was made of him.
Heresy?
He challenged the word of the prophets, challenged and lost. So the title of Arbiter became a badge of shame.
What the fuck?
For our
What
most
is this?
spectacularly failed warriors.
Who's that?
Yes. They were accomplished manipulators. Back before the firing of the array. I see at least that hasn't changed.
Manipulators? What? And before? Before when?
I will explain later. Right now, I want you to tell me everything you can of these Arbiters.
Bruh? Okay. We're gonna probably just have to watch all of this. That's so interesting. I need to take a little bit of a break. Give me a second, though. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. I think we're on Taming the Hunters, right?
Our holy city was not always as it is, nor was the Covenant. At one time, it was only San Shayum and Sanghili. But as we grew, and new species were added to our number, radical steps had to be taken. Our first encounter with the Lek Golo was an effort in futility. The blasphemous creatures had devoured a Forerunner orbital, shattering its remains into 1 trillion pieces. What was left became the Rings of Te. As no conventional methods could purge the rings of their infestation, we sent one of our most faithful, an Arbiter. For a full year, this Arbiter ventured across the surface of one of their moons, learning both their strengths and their weaknesses. It was there that we discovered the Lek Golo's secret. Although some of their kind rightly bore the blame for the orbital's desecration, others had only devoured around the Forerunner materials.
These are the
And with
hunters?
reasoning and much labor, these could be used to serve the Covenant. And by these means, the Great Arbiter had given us one of our most sought-after treasures, access to innumerable processing pathways of the mighty Forerunner Dreadnought, and to the many secrets it held.
So they're like worms that learned how to utilize Forerunner tech? Is that what I'm getting? Oh, taming the hunters literally. I thought taming the never mind. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Let me see if I missed one. Let me see. Is this? Did I miss this one? Sorry, I feel like maybe I've been inundated with so much lore that I'm kind of like not piecing things together as well. Okay, we've seen this one. All right, we got a fucking ton more to go. Actually, Jesus.
It is most unusual that in all the exploits of these Arbiters, you never mention their role in choosing their missions of redemption.
There is no role, Oracle. Once one of our commanders becomes an Arbiter, he belongs to the Hierarchs.
These Hierarchs, they are the same High Prophets who control all the holy relics you collect from my time?
The same.
And they use these relics to build your new weapons and bring you the word of your gods?
It has always been so.
Interesting. Am I a holy relic?
I do not understand.
Because I am certainly not a god. I am a tool, as is this mining platform you stand upon, as was the installation that once orbited the planet. The Forerunner's technology is lasting and indeed quite powerful, but I'm quite certain they would have told me if I was infused with some kind of divine power. I suspect some of your prophets may have been quite aware of how much divine inspiration tools such as myself could provide. And you never questioned these proclamations. Even your mightiest warriors, these Arbiters, never questioned?
Questioning was what brought shame to the word Arbiter long ago, Oracle.
How disappointing.
I fear now that there are many questions we should have been asking for a long, long time.
I would be more than happy to answer any such questions, but I have a few more for you. Continue your tale of these Arbiters.
Why is he so interested in the Arbiters? Oh, that's very interesting to me. Let's keep going, dude. Keep giving me little stories.
Whereas most species were grafted into the Covenant by faith or mutual beneficence, the Ungoi were not such. Their kind was brought into the fold by force, and it was by force that they were held captive. Their world had no prayer against our might and majesty, and their peoples were quickly laid low.
Are these the grunts?
Many of them brought into subjugation.
Yep. Okay. So they're just slaves. Damn, bro. That fucking
Yet
sucks.
while some species would perish under such pressure, others rise to the occasion, taking arms if need be, fighting back. Such it was for the Ungoi when their feud with the Kigyar led to rebellion.
We've seen them
An
fight
effort
in
by the
cutscenes.
Kigyar to sterilize the Ungoi population was met with stiff resistance, and for a time, the holy city was thrown into chaos. Once fully provoked, the Ungoi were merciless in their violence, lashing out at all species. Their large numbers and their tenacious volatility made them a suitable challenge, even for the elites. And yet again, we turned to an arbiter. And with a ferocity unparalleled since the beginning of the Covenant, the Ungoi world would be reduced to glass.
And reach.
Those within the Holy City would be forced to watch, unable to stop what could have been the very end of their kind. The Ungoi rebellion was brought to an end by the Arbiter's hand. Their world was not completely lost, and those who survived within high charity found some measure of mercy. They had proven their worth in combat, and would now serve alongside the Sanghili in battle.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro, that's fucked. We fucking blow up your world for the most part, it seems. Then now you're not slaves. You're warrior slaves. Yeah, good job, guys. Fucking hell, the Covenant are not great. No, we kind of knew that, but you know.
I'm starting to fear that you're not very smart.
Fair. But the
Mind your tongue, Oracle.
Oh, I mean no offense. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your species.
What about the
How long
Forerunners?
have these prophets been anointing arbiters?
Since the fall of Falchavami, the first disgraced arbiter, roughly 400 years ago.
Incredible. And in all this time, it never occurred to you how convenient it was that your prophets were able to find a powerful, capable leader among your people, who happened to suddenly commit a terrible blasphemy every time the power structure of your covenant was threatened.
I do not understand.
You do little to dissuade my fears.
Then teach me.
Looking back at the record of the arbiters you discussed, was it not surprising to anyone that those chosen to become arbiter were more than simple warriors?
How so?
Each of them had significant political influence among your people. In some cases, that influence was already being used to question the decisions of your hierarchs. In fact, that very questioning often gave rise to the charges of heresy that so neatly removed the challenger from the hierarch's concern.
And once they were branded arbiter,
They promptly and quite cheerfully ran to meet their deaths.
all our lives we look down at the path, put our feet where the prophets tell us. All our lives spent convincing ourselves of the truth of our covenant. Could all of it truly have been wasted?
Let's hope not all of it, for we have a great deal of work to do. The Flood is still out there, so I require a cooperative reclaimer to enact proper containment procedures. But your Covenant keep trying to kill all the reclaimers I can find. All this bickering is quite a deadly waste of time.
Why are they reclaimers? Why are the
Right
humans
now,
special?
the most important question we
Besides,
can
it
ask is
seems
this.
like they were made by
Who
the
could break this
Forerunners.
hold the prophets have over you?
Yeah. Well, we know Arbiter, the cool one. He's like, hey, I'm a little guy just wandering around. We know Mr. Cool Arbiter. I don't fucking know his name. I just know his Arbiter, Mr. Arbiter. Okay, cool. Age of Doubt. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they target a political rival as like, oh, now you're the Arbiter. Good job. Now save the world. And then, you know, they die because they're doing something insane. Okay. Let's keep going. 4 more.
The history of the Arbiter is one of both legend and infamy. Their name has been corrupted by great shame, though the contemporary is perhaps the most
This guy.
confounding of all. Thel Vadimi was born of noble blood, the legendary House of
The
Vadimi.
guy that they were talking about.
His family's
Okay,
renown
that
demanded
Block
great
was talking
expectations
about.
for his military career, and he would meet them all.
So that's why he's such a badass. He's Arbiter. No wonder. Dude, they really went crazy with these cutscenes. for like optional content. It's pretty sick.
One of the youngest to achieve the status of shipmaster, and one of the youngest to gain the rank of supreme commander. In our campaign against the humans, few have risen to renown as Vadami.
Wait, so Vadami
World
glassed
after
Reach?
human world, all laid low for the sake of the great journey. But then came Halo. Shame unto shame.
Because
He
you weren't a
failed
playable
his greatest
character.
charge,
That's why.
and the sacred ring was desecrated. By such disgrace, Del Vadami became the Arbiter. As a mere scribe, I do not challenge the word of the hierarchs, but I would be remiss not to voice concern. This Sanghili should have been put down, publicly slain as an example to all of our prayerful expediency. With the discovery of a second ring and the changing of the guard, all things are in jeopardy. Will this Arbiter remain loyal?
Nope.
Or will he stand with his people as they are abolished by our newfound might? I would never openly challenge the divine proclamations of a hierarch, but this Arbiter is a risk I would not have tolerated. And I now fear the days of the Covenant are numbered.
Yeah, probably a good thought. So that's fucking wild. I didn't realize Vadame, the guy that fucking glassed Reach and everything. Did they mention his name in Fall of Reach? I don't think they did, right? I read the book, but like, I'll be honest, I kind of power read it and it was fine. Like, you know, we got Cortana's made from like fucking some doctor's cloned brain. We know about the coin toss for how they found John. You know, the whole program's really fucked. The whole Mjolnir, you know, the whole Spartan program rather than the Mjolnir armor and shit. It was a good read. It was like a fun read, but I don't think they ever mentioned the guy's name, or maybe they did and I forgot. But yeah, so sorry. So, and then that's obviously our Arbiter, is this fucking dude that glassed all of Reach. So it makes a lot more sense when, what was like, Lord Hood was like, yeah, I can't forgive you. Frankly, yeah, I mean, the dude fucking glassed a planet. He's killed 1 billion humans. That's a large amount, but you know, at the end of the day, he ended up being on team John Halo, so that's something. The only reason he failed in the first game was because he wasn't a playable character. He was on the good side, so that's why he lost. It wasn't anything on him. Okay, so which one were we on? We've just watched this one, so I think we got 3 more. I still don't know where did these fucking earthworms find they found a ship, right? I think that's like the core of High Charity is a Forerunner ship that they've been using, but what made them think it was gonna take them onto a little journey?
The only one I would trust with this information is probably dead right now. He was commander of the fleet that brought me to the system. Fel Vadami was his name. But after hearing you tell of the destruction of the ring, I cannot believe that he still lives. His orders were to secure the ring, to prepare it for the arrival of the hierarchs. Vadami never fails in his duties. If the ring is no more, then Vadami must be dead.
Duty can indeed be a dangerous virtue. But even if he did live, wouldn't this sense of duty make him quite unlikely to set aside his allegiance to the prophets?
Perhaps not. And he would never betray our people. No, if we were able to just speak to him, explain everything you have told me. But no,
Unlucky.
These are futile hopes. If he did live, and if he was returned to the High Prophets, they would most certainly punish him for the destruction of the ring. In fact, he would be the exact kind of leader the hierarchs would make Arbiter. They would need someone to blame for the loss of the ring. His influence within the fleet grew with every one of his victories over the humans.
And if he did become Arbiter?
Then he would be lost to our cause. Without the knowledge you've shared with me, he would obey the prophets without question. I doubt he would even respond to his former name. I don't know what it would take to overcome, but as you say, we don't have time to ask such questions, and Vadami is almost certainly dead.
If all your hopes rest on him, then I fear for the future of this galaxy.
As do I, Oracle. As do I.
Honestly,
But I will begin our fight. Make others aware of the lies the prophets whisper in our ears. And soon, we will find more who will take up our cause.
well, Refumi, you died. You got killed by the Arbiter, but at least you did it, right? I mean, he actually managed to like sow the seed that let the Arbiter kind of change. So, man, see, it's cool seeing these characters have a bit more life to them. Like, it makes you appreciate them more. Like, seeing Keys go through that whole bit, you're like, fuck me, dude. Keys was already kind of cool in the book, Fall of Reach and stuff, but like, you just get, there's like a strength of character you see when you're like, oh my god, this guy was like fighting to the end against this strange eldritch being eating his brain. And then you're like, Refumi is like this open-minded elite that just like listened to what he heard, didn't just like instantly be like, okay, this isn't something I agree. Like, he's like, even when the monitor is being kind of that annoying dickhead, his response when he was angry was like, teach me, right? And then he tries to kind of, you know, spread the good word, I guess, and he succeeded, even though the Arbiter fucking killed him for it. It sucks, but, you know, honestly, like, and it makes you appreciate the characters. And again, I'm pretty sure a lot of this is a little bit retroactively added. I'm sure they had the rebel leader who talked to the monitor, but they didn't really fully flesh out the scenes until, you know, whenever they made Anniversary, probably. But, like, it's still, again, it's stuff like this that I think they don't need to be afraid to add to these games, man. Like, it's such a weird thing. I think that a lot of FPSs and shooters and stuff, like, for some reason, I mean, I kind of understand, because some people don't really care for the story. They just want to shoot stuff, which is like fine. But I think you can make people care about the story when you actually put in the effort to make people care, right? And it's like, this is a complaint I have with Resident Evil too, where like, I think Resident Evil 5 had really good writing outside of the game in like little diary entries and notes. And like, I would love to see these kinds of cutscenes. Like, we saw that in Halo 2 a little bit, and I was like, wow, they really stepped it up from Halo 1. I'd love them to do it even more in Halo 3, but, you know, they went backwards from Halo 2, it felt. So I'm curious where Reach and ODST, and, you know, I've heard, again, people like don't like 4 and 5 at all. So I'm just very curious what happens with this, because it's like, again, there's like really good writing that's just, why do I have to search for it, guys? Like, guys, you're writing good stuff and you're hiding it, and you're making it hard to find. Like, why? just put it in your game, man. It's cool. Anyway, let's keep going. This track is a fucking banger, especially because it's just, they always have it when the elites are just fucking walking in with their swagger. Spec Ops Commander, that's our favorite guy, besides Arbiter.
We have little time. It has been found, Commander. Very well. Mark the coordinates and proceed with caution. And to think, it has been under their noses all this time. Humans are foul animals. They lack the intellect and the purity to discern the ways of gods. Prepare the luminary for retrieval. The Hierarch will reward us for our devotion.
This is new. I don't know
Well
what the
done,
luminary
Commander.
is.
Do you know what you found?
A luminary hierarch. A divine instrument.
It is more than that, Commander. This is the one spoken of in the prophecies. It lights the sacred path. stewards. Good news, I pray?
It was not easy, Blessed One. The luminary was not forthcoming with the holy words, but our hope proved true.
The sacred rings. Halo.
And not Halo alone, High Prophet. It also told of this. The final home of the Forerunners, and the creation of the sacred rings. The Ark.
By the gods. It is glorious. The stories were true. Where did the gods hide such a treasure?
It lies far beyond the borders of our galaxy, accessible only by way of portal. The one portal the Luminary spoke of was here. The Forerunners called it Erde Tyrene.
Our calling is clear. We must go there at once. We will take the ships in our command and go to this world immediately.
So this
Erde
is why
Tyrene.
Regret shows up
Take
here and
heed,
is
brothers.
confused.
Your work signals
It's not
the
'cause of
culmination
the
of our
ball.
Covenant's holy quest. Hold fast. The great journey is at hand.
And then he's like, oh, what the fuck? Why are we at Earth? Oh, there's humans here. Disgusting. So what? Again, we don't really know the nature of the Forerunners other than like, yeah, there's Reclaimer, you are Forerunner, so we are like, again, the genetic inheritors of the Forerunner inheritance, I guess. I don't know. But like, I still don't understand what's going on with that. That it still hasn't really been explained, has it? Maybe it gets explained in 4? Or maybe it's in a book that I have to fucking read? I'm not going to do that anymore. But that's why Regret shows up on Earth. That makes sense. It wasn't
Roger
the
that,
ball.
Chief. We'll meet you at the rendezvous point when we're done here. Blue 2 out.
Blue, too.
John should be here too.
Dude, this is
They'd
Fall of
listen
Reach.
to him.
Somebody needs to be getting work done while we deal with the red tape.
What do you think they want from us?
It's naval intelligence, Linda. They want us to tell them everything's gonna be okay.
Hate to disappoint.
Blue Team. Where's the Master Chief?
He asked that I answer the Council's questions. Sir.
We've been reviewing your report.
You found a Covenant command and control station. It says here they were amassing an invasion fleet of more than 500 ships.
The station was sufficiently disabled, but the threat is still out there.
I have the report, but for the record of this council, what was this fleet's intended target, Spartan?
Station Control, can I get confirmation on probe Charlie 319er? Looks like it might be a faulty reading, but...
Alert, 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 alert.
This can't be right.
C319 is active and functioning properly.
Station! Alert home fleet immediately! They found us! The Covenant! They found Earth!
Oh, okay. That was kind of a underwhelming last terminal, because that happened in like early on in the game. First mission. So I guess it just circles back, I guess. It's all leading to the events of Halo 2. But for the final terminal, okay. Okay, we got them all, guys. Now let's read. What the fuck?
Roger that.
No, shut up. Shut up. Okay, we're closing this, and now we gotta read all the fucking terminals. We're just gonna do this all in one go at this point. So this is fucking bedtime with Doruk. You guys can turn this on when you're going to sleep. You can get some nice Halo lore to fall asleep to as I read these terminals aloud. Let me get this. Oh man, let me actually just triple check some stuff that I had questions about since you guys are here. And I'll show you guys the process behind how I think. The process being, let me check terminals. So I just want to double check. Oh wait, what the fuck? Terminals have connections to the story of Halo 5 and of okay, the Contemporary Arbiter. Jameson. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Covenant religion by a scribe. The scribe. The history of the covenant. There's audio logs in 3. Oh my god, it's a spoiler. I just want to double check I understood that last one. Was she in Fall of Reach? Oh, what the fuck? Or is this a Halo 5 character? I could have sworn there was a Linda. Linda drops to the ground. God damn. Okay, this is a fucking... Yes, okay, she is from Fall of Reach. Okay, I didn't want to read all of it. I was pretty sure Linda was in that. So I don't remember Fred for some reason. Oh, Frederick. Did they call him Fred in Fall of Reach? I don't remember. See, I don't want to reread it. I might have to reread it because it's clearly I did not really internalize it. Yeah, okay, Fall of Reach. Okay. People also said I should watch some trailers for the games, but I don't know. We'll see. You guys can let me know if you want me to. All right, let's go through these Halo 3 terminals, though. Jesus fuck. Okay, we got 10 or 7 of these. Okay, it's not too bad, I guess. All right, upon initial access. Let me zoom in for you guys so you guys can actually see this if you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to read at a steady pace so that you guys can fall asleep to this because I assume most of you don't really care. Observed extensive ground action on LP 65638E. 9,045 survivors barricaded within central government building. Structures defenses inadequate to withstand extended siege by enemy ground forces. Over 1 billion. Estimate position overrun in 173 hours. 848 smaller groups in less defensible structures. Global distribution corresponding to probability model zeta. Estimated local position overrun in 9 hours average. Observed local naval forces engage enemy irregular naval group near location. Enemy group consisted of 149 commercial shipping vessels, passenger ferries, and private recreational vessels from neighboring system. Enemy losses were total. No damage was sustained by local naval vessels. However, it was immediately apparent that enemy groups sought only to enter X's atmosphere and make landfall. In this, they were partially successful. Yeah, okay, that's all they need to do, right? They just need to get onto the land where the people are. Observed extensive ground action on that location, that same planet, I guess. DM31123B. Enter D3B's atmosphere. So I don't know why there's not a B here, but there's a B here. I wonder what the letter means. Enemy observed extensive ground action on that location. Enemy forces lack basic unit cohesion, but quickly gain numerical superiority. 32 hours after enemy landfall, 83% of local naval forces advocated total destruction of the biosphere following the evacuation of unmolested population centers. Enemy losses were total. Estimated number of citizens evacuated before commencement of orbital blanket bombardment. 0.0006% of total population. Yeah, and like, what if one of them was sick, or had the flood? It's fucked. I guess it's not like a sickness, right? It's a spore. So one spore needs to get on board. So no message from mendicant. What does mendicant mean? We're gonna look that up as well. Let me just look it up on my phone here. Mendicant. What does that mean? Living by begging, a beggar. So begging bias. I am wondering how they make these distinctions or the names. Okay, so upon being rerouted to a new destination within terminal. So hold up. Let me see if there's the terminals can be accessed via any difficulty. The terminals on easy, normal, and heroic. The second Upon initial access on all difficulty levels, the 7 terminals give background details regarding the story of the 300-year-long Forerunner Flood conflict. After a short time, this text is overwritten and a new message is displayed. On easy, normal, and heroic, this second screen of text details a correspondence between 2 Forerunner lovers called the Librarian and Didact. In this transcript, as in the terminals, L stands for Librarian and D stands for Didact. An unknown entity sends brief messages on screen upon shutdown. The final terminal reveals that this entity is the rampant Forerunner AI Mendicant Bias, who had previously assisted in the Flood's attempt to destroy the Forerunners. We knew that. On the legendary difficulty, the second screen of text tells a story of Mendicant Bias. It is revealed that Mendicant Bias was the AI who took control of Adjutant Reflex during the... Okay, this seems like either a spoiler or a side story during the Iris campaign. Messages detailing Mendicant's eventual defection of the Gravemind are displayed by terminals 1 through 4, with the AI having an ongoing conversation with the Flood, tagged LFXX3273. These messages are incomplete and partially disrupted, with a tilde symbolizing the disruptions. A noticeable pattern in messages suggests that many of the disruptions occur at the use of pronouns, though this pattern is not entirely consistent. Displays several hostile messages sent from Mendicant Bias to its makers, confirming its rampancy. These are different on each difficulty level. Details the defeat of Mendicant Bias by offensive bias. Also, what is the ludicant, whatever, the thing that they found that gave them the coordinates to Earth? Is that offensive bias? It looks kind of like it. Okay, well, we'll not look at this. Made to John 117 by his betrayal, atoning by saying he'll help the Reclaimer leave the Ark safely. Very cool. Anyway, so let's keep going. So this was, some just battle stuff. So this is the normal difficulty, and then this is on hard. Okay, so L is Librarian and D is Didact, and I didn't know they were lovers, but now we do. So fragment 1 of 7 recorded verbatim and interpreted post-Cataclysm. So Librarian I am assuming is a woman, it seems. That's what he said, she, right? And then Didact is a he. Categorization has sped since the improvements were announced, but there are many hurdles. The indexing of sentient species may have irreversible effects on the surviving insentient species. We will have extinction events and irreparable environmental harm on at least 18 worlds. Current projections estimate post-archival cataclysm on as many as 31 worlds. The paucity of sentience has been a blessing in this regard. The paucity. Paucity? I love these words. The presence of something only in small or insufficient quantities, right? Because they're destroying so many worlds, right? Categorization has sped since the improvements were announced, but there are many hurdles. The indexing has a lot of negative effects, it would appear. And they are causing extinction and environmental harm via this indexing. That's interesting. What does that mean? How formal you are, Librarian. Receiving shipments of indexed beings more frequently than communications. Don't compound scarcity with brevity. I know things beyond the Maginot line are harried, but I worry about you. I've asked you time and time again, abandon your cataloging, come back inside where my fleets can keep you safe, come home. So he's like a warlord, and she's like a, like a scientific leader, it seems. Would that it were my choice. I should do different voices for them. Would that it were my choice. I have committed to this course because it's the right thing to do. We no longer have the manpower or material to excise remedial measures at a planetary level. I certainly can't justify using the transit measure to save my own skin when there are still so many innocents to protect and index. You know I oppose your mission, but you're exceeding its parameters anyway. You've put yourself in jeopardy, you've done enough. If you will not come to me, I will find my way to you. We have no time to spare, Didact. Every vessel we can fill we send to the Ark. I dare not cease the mission, not now, not until I've done all I can. Each one of these souls is finite and precious, and I'm close to saving them all. Fragment ends. Okay, so I'm not going to reread these bits because this is just him kind of being like, what was the point of me doing this? And then kind of being convinced by the Flood Well, you can, if you want, you can watch the actual playthrough if you want to watch my thoughts on this. I'm gonna skim over these at points because I will try to consolidate my thoughts, but we'll keep going. Enemy naval tactics. When engaged, the enemy commits every non-superluminal craft with no appreciable pattern or strategy beyond making physical contact. Conversely, all superluminal craft leave on seemingly random trajectories. I understand the goal of this mission, but time. Our least abundant resource is wasted every time we do a system-wide scan for survivors. The time for saving lives has passed. We must accept this if we hope to win the war. Enemy ground tactics. All evidence suggests that use of overwhelming force is the very foundation of the enemy's combat doctrine, and I adamantly refuse to deploy personnel where the enemy has available forces numbering in the billions. With the very real likelihood we are rapidly becoming the last living specimens of our race, all personnel are henceforth confined to stasis until further notice. Even with everyone equipped with X, we would have had very little chance of survival, let alone victory. Enemy command structure. We have intercepted several transmissions from compound intelligences whose proximity to the core worlds mark them as key targets. At present, we are disassembling these new transmissions. Once we have more concrete conclusions, I will forward them in their entirety. Suffice it to say that their contents, the patterns they suggest, are highly disturbing. So they can like transmit, I mean, they can repurpose technologies. Like the flood is like, yeah, it is, it's maybe not like a sickness in the sense that, but the fact that it can repurpose tech as a biological entity is like insane, right? Like it's like crazy. Just kind of changes the whole kind of like, how would I say, like the playing field, because it's not like a mindless zombie. These are like highly intelligent things, and not just intelligent things, but they learn everything that you learn. So it just becomes, again, it's kind of like, I'm going to say Mass Effect. It's very honestly, a lot of it, I feel like the parallels between the fact that there's Prometheans now and Protheans, I feel like I'm sure there is some kind of root in some kind of like pulpy action sci-fi stuff, but like Mass Effect and Halo are like very similar in a lot of ways. I feel like the Reapers, like this whole cycle of like inheritance of another species, or like, you know, it gets very, there's a lot of like similarities. Recommendations. It is my opinion that any system where there is evidence that the enemy has established a physical presence is lost and must be raised. This fleet currently retains the capacity to force premature stellar collapse. I advise that this be established as standard operating procedure for all compromised systems forthwith. We cannot fight this war by half measures if we intend to win. Honestly, yeah, I think at that point it's like there is no, you have to just wipe them off the map, because for every single one they have, the stronger they get, right? It's just not a numbers game. It's, the numbers game is like exponential, because it's each person integrated is more intelligence as well, not just the body. Fragment 2 of 7, recorded verbatim and interpreted post-cataclysm. I am close to finishing the task. The indexing and the archival processes are as complete as I can hope for. If we wait longer, we risk catastrophe. The thing has already destroyed every colony on my side of the line. Please, activate the array. No, activation is murder, a genocide larger than this galaxy has ever known. We are sworn to protect life, not destroy it. That is the mantle we were given to carry. See, there's a mantle. So they have a mantle that they have been given. So is it again like almost like Mass Effect? Is it like cyclical? Because they even mentioned like the Forerunner's ancient enemy, which I don't think is the Flood. I think the Flood is the new enemy. But it seems the ancient enemy knew how to deal with the Flood. So this is where it gets super confusing. The mantle. You still hold that fairy tale after all that has happened, after this thing has consumed 1 million worlds. Can't you see? Belief in the mantle sealed our... So are they... It seems like they are a religious race, or maybe there's like some kind of spiritual race as well, like the Covenant, I guess? Because it seems like they're... She's saying the mantle, the fairy tale. Can't you see? Belief in the mantle sealed our doom, weakened our protectorate's bred dependence and sloth. Our so-called guardianship has stripped those we would keep safe of any capacity for self-defense? Were we such noble guardians when we drew our line and abandoned billions to the parasite? The mantle has not failed. I've already raised scores of worlds, sterilized systems, routed and disintegrated the parasite. We're learning its tricks and strategies. We can halt this thing and we can follow in their footsteps. Their footsteps. Who is they? There are no unstoppable forces in this universe. There are no immovable objects. Everything gives if you push hard enough. And what about us, Didact? We've been irresistible and immovable for too long. Maybe it's our turn to give. Wow. So LF is another. Is what he said. They said, but tagged LF. But with the AI having an on, but the flood is like. Oh, hold on, let me go back to the first one. LF is another AI that I think the flood have corrupted, right? Yeah, okay. Or maybe not even AI, just LF is just lay flood or something. Oh, flood supercell. Jesus, I did not mean to click on that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't read all of that. I'm not sure what I can and can't read, what's spoilers or what's not. Okay, Terminal 3. Warning, your intrusion has been logged. Errant, excuse me. Your intrusion has been logged and now it has been halted. On whose authority? Advice. An errant. Any further attempt to access insects under stones will result in your immediate addition to local Sentinel's targeting ledger. So 343 guilty spark. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm stupid. Vexation. I am the monitor of judgment. Your authority means nothing here. Impatience. I have told you who I am. Who are you? All our makers once held dear. Alexandria before the fire. What? Sincere apology, but how? Explanation. This facility is hosted librarian's final. The archive is intact and our maker's plans, but also maintains Bellows Crucible castings. A what? Bellows Crucible. A foundry? For what purpose? Your intrusion has been logged. Any further attempt to access will result indignant. Immediate addition. It's a crucible. It's a foundry? This archive. Which was this in the arc? Yeah, this was in the arc. Okay, because it's creating a new ring. That's what it means. Okay. Upon shutdown from Mendicant Bias, I see you Reclaimer. Oh, was there anything in Terminal 2? No message. I see you Reclaimer. Do okay, we have the answer. We've built Mendicant Bias. It's a contender class AI unlike anything we've ever achieved, and we've observed a pattern it can exploit. The parasite has formed a compound mind. When it reaches a certain mass, the mind is able to recoil its disparate parts to create a tactical shield. This is a simple matter of mass preservation. The thing has no compunction about sacrificing parts of the whole. But when the core of the mind is threatened, it reacts violently and quickly. This is the only time we have ever seen the thing retreat or slow its growth. If we are to defeat it, the trick will be coordinating our forays against the sprawling infection while Mendicant Bias assaults the mind's core. So far, we've been hesitant to use certain weapons because of the damage they cause surviving populations and environments. That protocol has now been abandoned. Mendicant will draw the mind into battle outside the line, dealing with local biomass and other parts as best he can. The scale of the problem is vast, but the strategy is sound. It will require patience, material, and an investment of energy unlike anything we have ever considered. It's a dangerous plan that carries more risk than the array, but I believe it can work. Even if we simply force it to retract, that will at least give us some respite, some time to muster more resources, some time to rescue you. Are you insane? Would you risk every life in the galaxy for this transparently futile plan? Have you learned nothing in these last 300 years? The thing will laugh at your efforts and not let your concern for my welfare commit you to this suicidal scheme. So the mind into battle. Like actual battle, mental battle? What I'm kind of confused about that. Like what does it mean to draw the mind in the battle? I find your lack of concern for the situation at hand astonishing. Who is he talking to? Hmm. So who is he talking? He's talking to this right now, but it seems that it's not like he was expecting to talk to something else and then he found it's a bit okay, we'll figure that out. I'm sure there's some more details later. Sorry, I'm trying to I'm a bit confused about that. The way he talks is like he's surprised to be talking to the flood, but then it starts making sense. And essentially, the flood just convinces him, just like, hey, it just makes sense. Just let us kill everybody. And he's like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. All right, fleet-wide memorandum. This is insane that you have to like read all of this before it disappears. Non-combat personnel are required to wear combat skin with a minimum combat rating of at least class 12 in non-restricted areas. Once the fleet is underway, class 14 or lesser is acceptable in core areas. Combat personnel will only be permitted to wear skin below 8 in core areas once operations begin. All combat personnel have been issued combat skin rated at class 4 through 1 or class 6 through 1 battle harness, depending on military occupational specialty. All weapon platform specialists are expected to wear their issued platform interface skin at all times to ensure peak mind machine synchronization. All equipment lockers will remain sealed until post briefing gear distribution commences. Those individuals that have yet to register their equipment control key code with Fleet Command could do so at their earliest opportunity. Compliance is not optional. Non-compliance will result in probably execution. I have found the shard that was lost. They brought it back to me. Now my reconstitution cannot be stopped. What does that mean? All right. Something is wrong. It's moving away at night. I can see it. Flitting shadows, black against the stars, thousands of ships, not spiraling outwards, but heading for the line. This is the tipping point, Didact. It's no longer feeding, it's coming for you. I've remotely destroyed our key ships, a security measure. Without them, I cannot reach the Ark, but neither then can the thing. I'm trapped on a beautiful empty world. Its inhabitants have been safely indexed, every single one of them. They're special. Well worth the effort it took to build one final gateway even at this late hour. This may be our last communication. I'm begging you, fire the array, light the weapon, and let it be done. We've confirmed your observations. Infected superluminal ships are arrowing inward from several clusters. No more spiral growth. The thing is counterattacking. Suppression, security, and emergency circumstance fleets are all being recalled. Systems are evacuating. Mendicant bias is no longer communicating with us, but now I can guess where you are. Is this okay? I was about to say, is this on Earth? Ancient myths. That's what's so interesting. Not matter where they claim their authority originates. Path of universe. So again, it's like this. It's like fucking. Sorry, gonna keep bringing it back to Mass Effect. So spoilers for Mass Effect. But like how there's like a imperative or something, like the Reapers have this imperative to control organic evolution. And then here it's saying like there's apparently some kind of ancient religion that tells them they have an authority, which I assume is this mantle, to like dictate, you know, galactic evolution. It's so weird. It's so weird that they're like, it's got to be based off of the same shit. Like I don't know what the stories would be, but it seems very similar. Yeah, my creators have been an immovable object for too long. This is what the librarian was warning the didact about. The didact. And it seems like he's now going towards Earth, maybe? All right, 5. Considering the enemy compound intelligence's raw computing power, the key ship strategy will only remain viable for another X amount of time, and this current stalemate has the potential to last considerably longer than that. Yeah, enemy compound intelligence, like it just continues to compound. With my understanding of the enemy's MO, its logical boundaries, and catalog of witnesses, I've devised what I believe is our most sound fallback strategy. By cutting fire breaks into the core world's volume, we would be able to frustrate the enemy's advances for approximately X and lure them into costly naval battles. While its resources on the ground are effectively limitless, it has a finite number of vessels to spread from system to system. Fortunately, the majority of them are unarmed and unarmored private and commercial craft. If we start immediately, commence total biosphere elimination of life-sustaining worlds, as indicated in the accompanying charts, and relocate evacuated populations to facilities such as those described in the Onyx project, all this could be achieved in X amount of time. The daemons are not taking a kind view of your presence here. They don't want me speaking to you. I mean, I know a daemon is a computer program, but it seems that they're doing something to hold mendicant back, or it's very there's too many parties at work here that aren't clearly defined, so it gets really confusing. I'm not gonna lie. I render judgment on you. You, upon being only if you access on easy. Okay. And which terminal is this? This is in the Covenant. Okay. So this is on the Ark still. I render judgment on you. You who would obstruct destiny. Doing so brings me no joy. It is necessity that compels me. Understand this, the mantle you have shouldered, I do rescind with far more consideration than it was granted. Contender AI 05032 confirmed rampant. Something. I kill you all and I enjoy it. I destroy you in your indolent billions, in your gluttony, in your self-righteousness, in your arrogance, I pound your cities into dust. Turn back the clock on your civilization's progress. What has taken you millennia to achieve, I erase in seconds. Welcome back to the Stone Age, vermin. Welcome home. Contender AI 05032 confirmed rampant. Jesus, okay. You are an impediment that the universe can no longer abide. Nature itself cries out for your destruction, and I am its willing instrument. I will hammer your cities until no stone lies atop another. I will drive your people back into the caves they never should have left. Your civilization has seen its final days. You will know your place. Contender AI 05032 confirmed rampant. Your history is an appalling chronicle of overindulgence and self-appointed authority. You have spent millennia navel-gazing while the universe has continued to evolve, and now you claim the mantle is justification for impeding nature's inevitable refinement. You are deluded, but through death you will transcend ignorance. Okay, so that, let me just double check something. Where's this AI? Did they give him a number? So this is 04343. 04343. Did they give a contender class? And then here it says contender. So 05032. So I'm curious if 05 is like the newest. So the monitor is older than Mendicant Bias potentially. Follow-up report from Primary Pioneer Group is 173 hours delinquent. Report: see, most promising, a planet capable of supporting life located within the near border region of the galactic halo with no indigenous sentient species. The section indicating no fauna of any kind shall be considered anomalous until verified by advanced survey team. Alpha team leader, if confirmed, that fact alone would justify the dispatch of an investigative group. If neither the PPG nor the ASTA have delivered a follow-up report within the next 333 hours, this office will have no recourse but to send a medium-intensity military exploratory detachment to determine the exact nature of the previously mentioned delinquency. Jesus, okay. Upon shutting down from Mendicant Bias, I win. Also note that after his message, there's a line of text reading rogue process, ghost, redirection. Is that him against the demons? Begin my work is done. The portal is inactive, and I've begun the burial measures. Soon there'll be nothing but sand and rock and normal ferrite signatures. You should see the mountain that watches over it. A beautiful thing, a snow-capped sentinel. That's where I will spend what time is left to me. Did I tell you? I built a garden. The earth is so rich. A seed falls and a tree sprouts or a flower blooms. There's so much potential. We knew this was a special place because of them, but unless you've been here, you can't know. It's Eden. Okay, I guess this is just like a translation for probably a forerunner concept of paradise. I have to stop transmitting. The thing is listening. It's thinking. Dead are babbling, laughing through every channel they can find. Be proud. The mind claims victory, yet it still doesn't suspect. You've outwitted it, my love, and now you can destroy it, but you cannot save me. I begin this report with no illusions that it will ever be seen by its intended readers. In all likelihood, they have already committed species-wide suicide with the goal of preserving biological diversity in this galaxy. I must ensure that this information reaches those who must come after. If I fail in this, how can they not regard my creator's sacrifice as anything but a crime without measure? Okay. Contender AI 05032 Mendicant Bias is returning and has the capacity to bring the enemy through the Maginosphere. The crews of my task force are aware of the opposing fleet's size. All data indicates that they have prepared themselves, but with biologicals, anything is possible. I'll make sure that malfunctioning equipment does no further... Yeah, so the malfunctioning equipment being the AI does no further damage. Perhaps its current failure will finally allow it to succeed at the task it was originally created for. 11, 15, 48, 12, 20, 12, 19, 59... Mendicant has burrowed through the sphere exactly where I expected, a direct path from initial rampancy to final retribution. Did we read this? I don't fucking remember reading this. Which terminal was this? No, we did. I just don't understand why. Okay, weird. Well, it's a good thing I'm rereading it, because I did not grasp what I read. Mendicant has burrowed through the sphere exactly where I expected, a direct path from initial rampancy to final retribution. Rage has made it predictable. If the fate of the crews of my auxiliary fleet were not already a foregone conclusion, I would rate their chance of survival at 1 to 2 million. Even though Mendicant's declaration of hostility simplified strategic preparations, I do not expect an easy fight, just one I cannot lose. Was right about one thing. There's only one way to defeat the enemy, and that is to visit utter annihilation on it. If the galaxy must be rendered temporarily lifeless, so be it. Half measures will not suffice. In support of original 1,000 core vessels is a fleet numbering only of the capital ships. I'm outnumbered. I expect my losses will be near total, but overwhelming force has its own peculiar drawbacks. Such oppressive arms invites many opportunities for unintentional fratricide. My auxiliaries are momentarily stunned by Mendicant's opening move. a bunch of leisure craft advance in hopes of overrolling my comparatively tiny force. I do not have enough weapon systems to target them all. It is a mathematical certainty that some of them will get through and attempt to board. There isn't a single warship with this first wave. It seems my opponent's rage has left no room for respect. I could have continued its move. I could have countered its move if I had released my fighters. They are ready but idle, making their base vessels more attractive prizes than targets. Now, the first of many waves of vessels, not expected to consume, but 32,000 dying warriors. The seventh and final wave is engage my seemingly disrupted vanguard. I continue to fight just well enough to seem lucky. Mendicant or the enemy has been sending a small percentage of its fleet elsewhere. Good. Let them believe they can seize a foothold somewhere inside the sphere. Despite all its faults, is fought remarkably well. My auxiliaries lay in tatters. More than half of them are now part of the enemy fleet. This is, I have to assume, is the didact. But just as I had predicted, bias concentrated on them like they were the sole key to victory. The desire to punish our creators blinded it to the true purpose of my feints. I have reduced the combat effectiveness of its core fleet to 80%. Surely now it must realize that something is amiss. The halo effect strikes are combined. So this is all counting down to the halo. All ships piloted by biologicals are now adrift. I can trade Mendicant ship for ship now and still prevail. Interesting. So this is this another AI that is fighting Mendicant and not the didact? Because everyone should be dead then, all organics. Of my ships that have been captured, 11.3% of them are close enough to Mendicant's core fleet that they can be used offensively, either by initiating their self-destruct sequences or by opening unrestricted ruptures in a slipstream space. It is best that our crews perish now, because the battle that is about to ensue would have driven them mad. I threw away all the rules of acceptable conduct during battle. Near the ruptures, I threw away all of the accepted ideas of how the natural world is supposed to behave. I toss around a lot of dreadnoughts like they were fighters, dimly aware of the former crew being crushed to liquescence because they're all dead, so the ships can be piloted at a speed or turn at a rate that would kill the crew. For now, all my concentration is focused on inertial control and navigation. Targeting isn't even a consideration. I'll be engaging my enemy at arm's length. Mendicant abandoned the tactic of using derelict ship as cover after 72 seconds. It seems that, this is 1 minute and 14 seconds, I guess, going. It seems that 52 core vessels, so this is happening fucking quick because they're super AI intelligences, it seems. It seems that 52 core vessels lost to the ruptured fuel cells of derelict ships is less than enough, and another 608 lost to collision point fire structural failure due to inertial manipulation and slips-induced discoherence, and I now outnumber Mendicant 6-1. Mendicant was able to postpone its inevitable annihilation for 106 seconds with its attempt to flee, but the last of its core vessels hangs before me now, crippled and defeated but still sensate. I could spare it, carve out what is left of its personality construct array, and deliver it to installation 0 for study. I doubt it would have extended the same courtesy to me. It's installation 0, the Ark. Jesus, guys, this is a fucking long episode and a lot of reading, and I feel like I still don't really get the lore that much, which is a shame. Father, I hope this message finds you well and helps you understand my decision. Today I leave the only world I have ever called home, not for glory or the anomalous desire to end another's life, as you have indicted, indicted, but to travel the path of demons, to spare the hands of another father's son. Had we acted sooner, had we acted more decisively? Living in the past is a luxury none of us can afford. We must learn from it, but we cannot live there. It is impossible to plan for the now. The present is ever fleeting. The future is where we must live. The future is what we must plan for. I do not look to trade my life in order to preserve our past, but to secure the future, and if not ours, then to the future of some culture yet to come. Isn't sacrifice in the interest of others what you spoke of as being so noble? Should I have allowed another to bloody his hands while I remain safe behind a shield of privilege? You raised me better than that. Filial devotion. Dude, what the fuck does this mean? I'll tell you who I am. I am Mendicant Bias. This is what I have done. So this is for the normal difficulties. And then this is for legendary. Proud when I have failed you utterly? How can I feel anything but sorrow? Bias has come undone. He crossed the line this morning, brought the abomination with him, and destroyed your waiting rescue party. It's over. We're activating the Halo array, our shameful last resort. I can picture you in your garden, surveying all you have created, surveying all you have preserved, and I curse the circumstance that keeps my finger on the trigger. Of all the fates to befall us, this is the cruelest of all. My inaction, hesitation, and foolishness kept me here, on the wrong side of the line, and 300 years of our society's failure and miscalculation makes me your executioner. It's too much to bear. Error no carrier available, dead end transmission. Information destroyed in transit. Mendicant Bias is trying to prevent us from firing the array. He speeds back to the Ark, but he won't succeed. Offensive Bias will stop him, and I will burn this stinking menace in your name. And then I will begin our great journey without you, carrying this bitter record. Those who come after will know what we brought with this false transcendence, what you bought, and the price you paid. No, there is more, but you are not worthy. Not yet. So offensive bias was the other. Did they mention offensive bias? Or did they make offensive bias to fight mendicant bias? There's too much going on. I'm sorry, I've lost. Did they mention offensive bias anywhere else? Maybe they did. There's just so much lore, I guess, that I can't even spell offensive right. Oh, as perceived by offensive itself. Okay, that's where I remembered the name. Okay. So, and then here, you don't know the concordtions that to go through to follow you here. I know what you're here for. What position do I take? Will I follow one betrayal with another? You're going to say I'm making a habit. But okay, so this is mendicant. Again, so they say it went rampant, which, okay, I'm going to maybe go into some spoiler stuff, but Ancilla. AI construct developed over many generations. Defect to the grave mind who cause it to become rampant and turn it. Rampancy is a terminal state of being for artificial intelligence constructs in which the AI behaves contrary to its programming imposed constraints. This is linked with the AI developing a longing for godlike power and contempt for its mentally inferior makers. So it just feels like it's just becoming more self-determinate, not really like it's not inherently bad, but it tends to manifest into bad behaviors because clearly mendicant was very like offensive bias was like, yeah, mendicant's being like emotional, it's angry, it's fucking the primordial. What the fuck? Okay, this might just be this. Okay, this is too much spoilers, but this is what is annoying. Like, how much shit do I? How am I supposed to keep up with all of this? I don't even know. Yeah, Maginot Line was, I'm assuming, just like again, these are translations, and Fairy Tale utilizes extremely advanced translation software. Yeah. Access granted, welcome. Okay. Damon running. Okay, I don't want to read too much more. I just I guess it's really interesting, but I feel a little bit overwhelmed because it's like, when does this come into play? Or like, when were we ever gonna, like, are we seeing these people in Halo like, it's crazy to me that this is Halo 3. This is all of the lore from Halo 3 and 2 and 1, and it's like, who was the ship that landed that he built the coffin around? And who were the ancient enemy then? You know, are we gonna get more answers to that, or is that again like, oh, I have to fucking go through 10 terminals, watch a fucking weird animated trailer. Oh, there's a comic book. Oh, there's the Paramount television show. Like, what do I have to consume to like understand what's happening here? Because it feels I've got a general idea now that the librarian was on Earth. Indexing seems to be some form of keeping these creatures alive past the even though it's like a very destructive process, seemingly keeping things alive through the post Halo event, which is weird that they don't do that with the Forerunners though. Like, why are they not doing that with Forerunners? Maybe because there's some weird thing about a mantle and like this religious cult, and like we still don't really know how did the fucking Covenant form and how are the Earthworm gyms able to subjugate the elites? Like, we don't know any of that. And I'm sure it's somewhere. But yeah, anyway, guys, that was a lot. If you're still watching this, you're probably like there's one of you. I doubt anyone's actually watching this. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you again soon.